What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Between the Pipes. Archie here with my co-host Wade. As always, Wade, how's it going?
Not bad. We got a different thing going here, Archie. I just realized that we have our hat backwards, so I don't know what that means, but it could be a different kind of show. Who knows what's happening here, but I like it. I like the change up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we've got a Leaf game going on right now. Leafs are currently down 2-1 against Calgary. Jason Spezza just got the Leafs on the board and within one, assisted by Riley, and your boy, Wayne Simmonds, already gets a point in his first game back. So as always, we'll start things off with our beloved Leafs, who, not sure we could say maybe they're still on fire. I mean, they're still on top of the division, still, kind of doing their thing, but they're also coming off a 4-day break. So we haven't really seen much action from them. And now they're going into a back-to-back against Calgary starting tonight into tomorrow. Currently sitting at 19-9-2, 40 points with a plus 23 goal differential, riding a 2-game losing streak heading into tonight's game. So hopefully they can put that losing streak aside, plus being off for 4 nights. Hopefully we'll start to see a better result from the boys. In addition to that, Galchenyuk in the lineup tonight, Simmonds back as we've already seen, and Jack Campbell on the bench as Freddie's backup. That is definitely some positive good news for Leafs fans and Leafs Nation. Wade, I know you've been dying to see Simmonds back on the ice. How you feeling right now?
Well, in regards to Wayne Simmonds, so happy to have Wayne Simmonds back. Everyone that watches hockey knows exactly what Wayne Simmonds brings to the table. And it's nice to have some sandpaper and grit back into that lineup. He's also a power play one guy, stands in front of the net, tips puck, deflects puck, screens goalies. He'll fight if he has to. Gotta love Wayne Simmonds. He's a Scarborough native boy from Scarborough. If anyone doesn't know, that's the suburbs of Toronto. So always good to have Wayne back in the lineup. As for the Leafs, it's no secret the Leafs have lost 5 of 6 games. Here's the thing, guys. We are getting shit on a little bit here, and I think that every team in the North Division so far, including your Montreal, Winnipegs, and Oilers, every team has went through their slump so far. And every team, no matter how good you are, unless you're some rare Tampa Bay team when they had 65 wins a couple years ago, that they didn't really have a slump. But every good team goes through it, and you just gotta dig yourself out of the hole that you're put in. So, and as far as that goes, a lot of people are talking about Freddie Anderson and the goaltender situation. I just want to say, in my personal opinion, I still think Freddie Anderson is the guy, and I won't know as well as with other Leaf fans if he is the guy until playoffs this year, if he is the starting goaltender this year for playoffs. But I do want to give him that it's his last year on his contract, and we'll see what happens with that. But as far as the way he's played recently, it's definitely not a Vezina or close to a Vezina type performance. So he's letting in a couple weak goals, and Leaf fans are a little too used to that, and we don't want to, we're trying to get away from that, right? So even Freddie Anderson came out recently and said he's battling an injury. I don't know if that's a little bit of a cry for help because of social media treating him the way that they've kind of been treating him. I know that there's polls going up on TSN and whatever. I think it's close to 50% of Leaf fans are like, let's get rid of Freddie. And that's got to be hard to see and hard to take for the Leafs team management and especially the roster players if any of them break that news. So, hey, outside of all this and this losing record, I do want to say this. The Leafs have had their chances, man. It's not like they're getting blown out. Yes, a couple weak plays, a couple bad back-checking plays, a couple goals that are just, the right bounce is bouncing on the opposite side of the puck for on the opposite side of the rink for us. But hey, man, I think the Leafs have had quality chances, and we've seen our bottom 6 forwards, or our top 6 forwards have been playing well, but our bottom 2 lines have looked pretty decent. So I like what's going on with Mikheyev. He's kind of stepped it up too, playing on the third line there, that Engvall line. And Kerfoot looks better on the wing, in my opinion. The Leafs just need to dig themselves out of this hole right now. And it starts with a win tonight. I know that they're down 2-1. but it starts tonight, right, Archie? I mean,
Absolutely.
you've had 4 or 5 days off, and it's time that they're rejuvenated, they're re-energized, and let's see what we got here. We got players back. Galchenyuk's in the lineup. Wayne Simmonds is back, and the boys have been rested. So we got to start now. We got to start here, get out of this slump, and then we got to prove why we are the most dominating North Division team, right?
Absolutely. And in addition to players in and out of the lineup, we saw Lettinen get put on waivers last week, and he was picked up by Vancouver. So he's gone. Short-lived career here in Toronto. I think we both had better expectations for the guy. I mean, he wasn't bad, but he definitely did not live up to what I think all of Leafs Nation was expecting. So we lose him. That's $900,000 off the books. I feel like, I mean, we'll get into some trade discussions in a little bit here. Frees up a little bit of cap space. I think the Leafs are going to be looking to make some moves. Galchenyuk comes in having a great stint with the Marlies. I think it was he had 6 or 8 points or something like that in whatever games he played there. So he said he's ready to go. He said he really appreciated the Leafs giving him the opportunity to continue playing, considering he'd been off for a while. So it was a great way for him to get back into the flow. And tonight we see him in the lineup. Hopefully he makes a good first impression. Before we get on to more hockey talk, as you all know, Greg Ryder was previously on our show, singer-songwriter from Canada, and the singer of the 16-6 song dedicated to Humboldt Broncos that we played here before, and you guys saw him play it live, and then we debuted his video. Wade, you've got some more information on Greg's next ventures out west.
Yeah, guys. So beforehand, I just want to say, Greg Ryder, congratulations. So he's got a gig booked in Alberta, and he's basically going to be doing a fundraiser at this bar called Patty's Pub and Kitchen, and it's from March 22nd to April 6th, and it's for the Minor Hockey League Association of Alberta. And that's really good news, man. And all this is because of the song 16 Sticks. And man, what an impact it's had. And this is a big deal for Greg. He's taken off on a plane. Probably tomorrow. And he's going to get down there and figure out what's going on. But he's going to be doing this fundraiser, and all 100% of the proceeds go to this minor league association in Alberta. And it's really cool. Just because of his story and what he's done. He's making changes, he's making moves for the better, and that's really exciting for him. That's what he wants to do. So congratulations to Greg Ryder. It's the first kind of like big kind of real feeling of 16 Sticks and the impact that it's had across Canada, and especially doing this gig and fundraiser in Alberta is going to be awesome. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we knew he was going to go somewhere with this song. I mean, obviously, the song's impacted a lot of people, especially those affected by it directly and both indirectly. And just to note that you said it runs through till April 6th?
Yeah, March 22nd to April 6th. So yep. I guess he's going to be there for a couple of weeks.
Yep, and April 6th being the anniversary of the incident as well, happened in 2018. So it'll be the third anniversary since it happened. So, awesome timing for him to be a part of that and to be able to put this all together right now, especially with everything going on and, COVID and kind of things being slowed down. It's great to see that he's at least able to travel, perform the song live, and do a more intimate, interactive show with people where he can resonate with fans as well. So I think this is a great step for him. Congrats to you, Greg. Wish we could be there with you, but we're there in spirit, and hopefully soon enough, Wade and myself will be able to join you out on your next venture, hopefully in an arena somewhere, maybe playing the song live, huh?
That would be unreal.
So speaking of promos, since we've got you guys on that topic, as you know, here at The Buzz, we've got several shows going on every day of the week. We've got a new show actually starting up on Monday. For any conspiracy theory fans in the house, check it out. That'll be on Monday. Stay tuned on our website as well as our Facebook page and our Instagram page and Twitter, and you'll see some more information on that. So in the meantime, here's the rest of the lineup. A little bit of a glitch there. One sec. Here we go.
4, Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them I'm ready, any opponent. The crown heavy and every minute is chosen. A path only fit for kings, and you won't know what this court means. What did you enlist for? If it isn't getting more rings, then you gon' have to switch your team. Trust me, it gets more mean. I'm a nightmare going up against your dreams. First step is explosive like a bomb hit. Bet if I let it fly, I cannot miss. And you ain't got a chance at the top 10 when you getting clamped all night by a locksmith. On the block, throwing lobs to my top bigs. I'm a chef, no look, what's the top dish? Tie game, through the pressure as the clock ticks. Crossover, step back, hit a shot, swish.
So there you have it. And of course, while we were playing that reel, the Flames have now made it 3-1 on a goal by Tanev. And of course, in classic Freddie Anderson fashion, letting a late goal in with about 30 seconds. Oh, and with 24 seconds, the Leafs come back and Kerfoot makes it 3-2. So Interesting little turn of events there. So we're still 1 goal going into the second. That's good. That late goal would have really hurt us. So I'm happy to see Kerfoot put this one by. So 3-2 going into the second in about 20 seconds. So moving along, it's been a pretty busy week. Nothing crazy. We can touch base a bit on Kyle Dubas. So he was on, I think it was Sportsnet or TSN, had an interview and basically said he is not afraid to admit that he is looking to upgrade the team. Now, again, the same things seem to be coming up all the time. They're looking for a strong D-man, potentially a forward to upgrade their lines, and goaltending is always something that is up for conversation in Toronto, as we've already discussed. So pretty much anybody, I believe he said, is movable from a prospect perspective, with the exception of, I believe it was Sandin. I think it was Sandin that he said was the one guy that is definitely not available, as teams are calling for him. But he said that that's one player they're not looking to move. I mean, we do have some talent down on the Marlies. There are some teams that could really use the help. There's teams that are probably going to be going through some sort of a rebuild. As we know, the Buffalo Sabres are still falling apart. You said an interesting stat before we went live. What is that again?
Man, the Buffalo Sabres, I'm so sorry to the Sabres fans. It's just pathetic at this point. You can't even chirp at this point. It's so friggin' bad, but they are 0-13. 0-13 in the last 13 games. What the hell is going on in Buffalo? Fired their coach finally. You know that was coming. Yep. Trade tracker alerts all over the place with Jack Eichel now, with Taylor Hall, with Ristolainen. Dude, are they going to blow it up?
Available.
What is happening here? It's like it's going to be a friggin' garage sale with these players, basically. Like, what can we get? What can we bargain with these guys? You know for a fact, there's one player that's staying there. It's Jeff Skinner. Because ain't nobody touching that fucking contract, bro. I think it's $9 million a year for the next, we talk about this all the time, March, for the next 5 friggin' years. And the kid has 2 goals. Horrible, man. Horrible contract. One of the worst ones in the league. And I just feel for Buffalo Sabres fans. I'm sorry, guys, man. And on paper, they look like they have not better than a decent or average roster, man. They have a couple key players. And here's the thing. I know it hurts that Allmark is actually above 500, their goalie. But Carter Hutton is I think, I don't know, he has 4 wins in 12, something like 4 and 12. So he's just really brought that down. And I know that Ristolainen was dealing with some COVID issues. Instead of being out for the 2 weeks and coming back, I know that he came back, and 3 weeks, a month into his healing process, he kind of said, oh my goodness, this is killing me. I'm not normal yet. I don't feel right. My respiratory wise it's not good. And they were working their way back. And Rasmus Dahlin's having a decent year. Who knows what's going to happen? Their top player right now is Olofsson, and that's the guy who's getting the points for them, and it shouldn't be. It should be either Taylor Hall, Jack Eichel, or Jeff Skinner. So that just right there. I mean, Jack Eichel's obviously injured right now, but it's still Jack Eichel. And Jack Eichel is having a decent year considering. But Jack Eichel only has 2 goals, I think, with he has 2 or 3 goals, whatever it is, and then the rest are just assists, right? So that's kind of a blow for a scorer, a top scorer like Jack Eichel. And assists are really good too, but you need guys that are going to put the puck in the back of the net. And when your top 3 guys that are getting paid close to, $9 million a year or whatever the hell it may be, 9-10, when they're not producing, the team's in trouble. They're not getting the goalie. Carter Hutton looks horrible. And that's all I got to say about that one, Archie. I don't know if you have a 2 cents you want to put in, but Buffalo it's not almost not even worth to talk about. It's a joke. One last thing I want to say is there was a newspaper article that came out, and I'm not sure where it was from, and I think it was even published in New York or Buffalo or some shit like that, but it was close by. And they had the ratings of NHL teams from 1 to 31, okay? 31. No, sorry, 1 to 32, because there's an expansion draft with Seattle. At 31, Seattle comes before the Buffalo Sabres, man. Buffalo Sabres scored less than a team that doesn't even exist yet. That is fucking horrible. It was comical, but that's just, oh, man. Talk about kicking a team when they're already down, man. So,
and we talked about it. Coming into March, they have allowed 5 or more goals almost every game. That seems to be the magic number. And just looking at their since last Saturday, 6 days ago, a week ago against Pittsburgh, they lost 3-0. Then they lose 6-0 to Capitals. Then they lose 3-2 to the Devils, and then 4-1 to Boston last night. I mentioned it yesterday when I announced that their morning skate had been canceled due to COVID. They almost would have been better off taking the forfeit and just not get embarrassed. Like they can't catch a break. They can't win a game. As a result, now their game scheduled for tomorrow, which would have been back against Boston again, has now been canceled. Boston's next 2 games are canceled due to the COVID protocol. Buffalo is still scheduled to play the Rangers on Monday. Not sure if that's going to happen or not, given what's the circumstances here.
Yeah,
might be good for them, but I'm at a loss for words. Like, this isn't even about tanking. This is just straight shitting the bed. There is no good coming out of Buffalo right now. I would hate to be a guy like Taylor Hall, even Jack Eichel. I mean, at one point I was like, he's a crybaby. He wants players. They get him Taylor Hall. No solution, not there. So I'm not sure what you do at this point. And you're right, Skinner is a lifer. No one's touching that contract unless Buffalo eats a large portion of that salary, which they may be forced to do in order to move him.
Absolutely.
So that'll be interesting to see what exactly they plan to do, because they otherwise have no shot at anything right now at this point. And then looking at some other games this week, we had a big game on Wednesday between the Rangers and the Flyers. The Rangers thumped Philly 9-0. And I have to mention this because one of our viewers, Michael, who's always in here usually commenting on stuff, 9-0. 9-0. Lafreniere, 1 assist on the 9th goal. You got 9 goals on the board, and all he's got is 1 assist. But you know who had a hell of a game? Zibanejad had a hell of a game. 6 points in the second period, 3 goals, 3 assists. Unreal numbers, that guy. Like, lights out. And I know you're itching to say something here, so let's hear it.
No, just a little thing. He's only the second player to ever do that in NHL history. That's all I wanted to put in there, but continue on, buddy.
Zibby, I mean, what a night he had. And I feel like he had a night similar to this last year. He has these spurts where he just goes off. Hell of a player. And then to do that all, I think he scored, I'm just looking at the numbers here. He scored his 3 goals in a 10-minute span, just actually 10 minutes and 10 seconds apart, 3 goals. And in there somewhere in the second period, he also had 3 assists. So the guy was a monster. And it was funny because Michael was actually mentioning, with what's his name, Lafreniere, he almost went the full game without getting a point, and then he finally picked up an assist on that 9th goal.
Lafreniere,
and then-
8 points on the year.
Yeah. And then Philly comes back, I believe, the next night and beats the Islanders 4-3. So it's almost like they just had a really off night, maybe. But a 9-0 thumping is definitely a wake-up call.
Talking about Zibanejad, man, I looked up the stats. Now, Zibanejad hasn't had a good year. And because last year I think he had 40 goals or something like that. And he was just on fire, lights out. I think he was a top 10 fantasy player this year. You know how I know that? Because I took him. And man, what a disappointment. But he comes out with 6 fucking goals, or 6 points, 3 goals, 3 assists in the second period. And, totally redeems himself. No, I'm joking. He still needs a little bit of production from me and from the New York Rangers. But you know what's interesting, Archie? You know who's leading points for the New York Rangers right now? Buchnevich.
Yes, he had a big game too that night.
What the hell? Where'd that guy come from? Like Buchnevich, I know he was a decent hockey player. Hey, I've heard his name been thrown around a room once in a while. But I didn't know he was fucking having a season he was having, man. He's like a point per game right now, man. He's lighting it up.
26 points.
That's pretty good, man. I like it. Good for him, man. And on top of that, since we are talking about New York teams, how about Anders Lee? Ooh. The second highest point getter behind, I think, Barzal is out with season-ending surgery, dude. That is a huge blow for the Islanders, who won 9 straight games recently up until their last game. So who knows how that affects them, man. A lot of that load is going to be put on Matt Barzal. I think Matt Barzal is the type of player that can handle that load, because I think he's still underrated. Like he's one of those Barkovs or Kopitars, just underrated, but man, the guy can play and he's got a lot of fucking skill. But, dude, you're telling me you're going to rely on Barzal, no Anders Lee. Who else is their scorers? Eberle, Josh Bailey is an assist machine. And then I'm probably forgetting someone here, but they're going to have trouble looking for the back of the net. And I get that they play a really strong defensive game, and their goalies have been played really well for them this year. But when you don't have that extra point game production coming from Anders Lee, your captain, your workhorse, I don't know. Let's see what happens. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in that division now, just because of that injury.
Yep, and continuing on, talking about injuries, about a week ago, Ottawa Senators goalie Joey Daccord recorded his first career NHL win, and then on Wednesday gets hurt in a shootout loss, and he is done for the season at 24 years old. Sucks. I mean, that you can't catch a break. I mean, you win a game, you're all pumped, riding that high, and then boom, season's done. Crazy.
Yeah.
So he's out of the lineup for them. And then I believe I just read something about Malkin is now week to week with a lower body injury. And Vancouver, I believe it was, Pearson out for at least 4 weeks with a lower body injury. So guys are going down right now, and lengthy injuries. And this is where, we're in the long stretch now. This is it, midway through the season.
Midway point, bud.
This is where things start to happen. This is where teams start to trade. There's still been any ruling on how they're going to handle the trades, if they are making any adjustments to cross-border trades, depending on this whole COVID thing. I know that some areas Toronto especially, or Ontario, in a potential phase 3 right now. So that could impact player transactions across the border. So no ruling yet on that, but I can see trades will start happening as players start going down and getting hurt. Teams like the Leafs, who do have an abundance of tradable players, if you want to call it, in the minors. I don't see the Leafs getting rid of anybody in their starting roster at this point, unless it's something big coming back, because they're obviously making a run. They're going to go. There should be no reason why they don't make the playoffs. And they're at a point where, if anything, they're going to be that team looking for a rental player this year and seeing if they can round up that maybe 1-2 missing pieces to make them a serious contender. You had a couple more things. Yep.
Archie, so goodbye to Mikko Lehtinen. There's some cap space cleared. Jimmy Vesey, claimed by Vancouver Canucks. There's some more cap space. And we were talking earlier, you were talking anyway, about the prospects down low and how Sandin's untouchable. And trust me, I get that. Timothy Liljegren finally having a good year down low on the Marlies. Finally, this kid's doing something. I think we took him in 2017. And we kind of been waiting and developing this kid. A couple little blunders along the way, a lot of questions asked, but we held on to him for a reason. And I have not watched the game, but apparently Timothy Liljegren's looking good. But you got Liljegren down there. You got Amirov, the Russian kid that we have down there. We took 15th overall in the last draft. And then you have
there's that Barabanov guy.
Yeah, and then you have Robertson, Nick Robertson. So they at least have people to trade, and I think that if they were to get rid of someone, Archie, I think a big name, I mean, not the biggest name, but I think a name that would be clearing books in order to bring someone over would be Kerfoot, man. Just because of his cap, right? He makes what, like $3.5 million or something like that. You clear that up, add those other $900,000 or $1 million contracts together. All of a sudden, you're looking like you got $5 million or $6 million to spend, right? So we'll see what happens. To me, that might be the odd man out. I mean, especially if you do pick up what are the talks about Taylor Hall, Nick Foligno from Columbus, even guys like Eric Stahl from Buffalo. Couple little things being talked about with the Leafs. We don't really know what's going to happen yet. But as far as it goes, no one wants to touch your prospects, especially when they already have a year or two or three developing in the minors, and you're ready for them to take over once your bigger players start signing bigger contracts somewhere else, or their contract ends. You need these guys in the pipeline to come up and carry the team still and make them relevant. And but that being said, you have to make bold moves to win a Stanley Cup. And if we're in it right now with the Joe Thornton acquisition and the Wayne Simmons acquisition and Nylander, Marner, and Tavares and Matthews in their primes right now, I would say that it is an all-in kind of atmosphere for Leafland. So let's see what happens, but it's going to be hard to let go of one of these prospects, and we'll see what happens. Like, there's going to be a few picks prospects, and I think a roster player needs to move in order to make the cap space to bring someone else over, because we're only playing with, I think, under $2 million right now. So to sign someone else to come in and do something, we'll see what happens. We got Alex Galchenyuk coming up right now. He's on a stint. He was with the Marlies. We conditioned him. I know we started off the game. I think I heard my dad upstairs go, "Oh my God, Galchenyuk is already a -2." Not really a good start for Mr. Galchenyuk. We'll see what happens, but it is go time. This is the year. If there's a year for the Leafs to really go for something, Archie, it is this year, because I don't care. You can argue other teams for me, but the Leafs have the best roster in the Northern Division. And in order to get to the semifinals of the Stanley Cup, you only need to just get through your division first. And then you only play 2 American teams and then potentially win a cup. So this year, on top of any other year, is a very special year for all these teams. And the Leafs have the team to do it. And I hope that Dubas makes some kind of magical miracle signing and acquisition and brings something over. And let's see what happens, man. He's got to be a wizard here.
Yep. And sorry, you mentioned something, and I stand corrected. I mentioned Lettinen when I was talking about players being released. It was actually Vesey, the guy that we recently lost to Vancouver. Lettinen was over in Columbus. Jimmy Vesey started off pretty good. And John Tavares, during the beginning of the year, said he was impressed with Vesey's work ethic, hardworking guy, chasing the puck, but just didn't make things work. And I mean, you knew putting him on waivers, somebody was going to pick him up at $900,000.
I knew he was gone.
Yeah, so he's gone. But yeah, there is cap space. Now, you did mention Kerfoot. I just hope that isn't the move that they make is not for Sam Bennett, because we've discussed in the past between the two players, Kerfoot is definitely the better of the two. So hopefully Sam Bennett is not who they go after. I wouldn't mind seeing Foligno. He's a Leaf killer and a hell of a grinder. Like, he's a hell of a player. He'd be a great pickup. Stahl, I'm not sure how much gas he's got left in the tank. He's kind of hit and miss sometimes. But he's kind of like a Jason Spezza. He'll come in, get his job done, and come up big when you need him to.
Other names, Philip Forsberg's been stirring around from Nashville, and so is Mikael Granlund. So I don't know.
I still like Foligno. Granlund wouldn't be too bad of a pickup. Forsberg maybe, but I do like Foligno out of those names that keep getting talked about. I would love to land Foligno.
You're talking about the captain of the Columbus Blue Jackets, the guy that's been a nitty-gritty goal scorer, who's tough, who will fight, and would be good material for a top 6 spot on the Leafs, man, 100%.
Exactly, and I'd love to have him there, and maybe this opens the door for Patrick Laine to be named captain of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Holy fuck.
I can't even say it.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. He is gone. I think he's gone soon, man. He has 1 year left on that deal that he signed, right? This is it? Or does he have one more year after this?
I believe.
Anyways, I think Werenski or Seth Jones will be named the captain of Columbus if Foligno ever leaves that place. So we'll see what happens. But
yeah, I mean, like I said, I would love to see Foligno in a Leafs jersey, especially since we saw his dad in a Leafs jersey. Famous goal when he was running on the ice in that goal against Detroit. So I mean, he'd be a great addition to this team, and maybe help light a fire under some players to get their things going. Interesting stat that just got pulled up in the game here. Calgary is 12-2-2 when scoring 3 goals in a game. Pretty good stat, but I know that the Leafs, if they showed a stat of how many times they've come back when down only 1 goal, I wouldn't count them out in this game whatsoever. But yeah, so what else? I think you had a couple other things there to mention.
Yeah, so let's get into Minnesota Wild right now. What the hell? They're having a wild kind of season. Like, dude, Minnesota right now is 18-9-1. Okay, that Kaprizov kid, I think he's a friggin' rookie this year. Is he not? Is he a rookie?
Yes, he is. Yep,
he's a rookie. Okay, the kid has 25 points as a rookie, leading Minnesota Wild in points right now. That is a huge flex. That guy's getting laid. And Capo Kapanen, what's their goalie? Capo Kokkonen. Hard to say the name because you don't know it because I thought Minnesota's number 1 goalie right now was Cam Talbot because I have him on my fantasy and I'm not doing so well. So now I understand what the hell is going on here. This Kokkonen guy is 12-4.
12-4.
And he has a save percentage, 927, goals against 205, bro. He's having a good season, man. Minnesota's coming out of nowhere, and I like it, man. I like it because I like their jerseys. Those jerseys that we see in the reverse, woo! Those Minnesota jerseys are fire. Yep. But hey, it's good to see Minnesota do well, man. And for me, Minnesota's just one of those teams in the background that I've never had any rivalry, anger, or any grudges against. So it's good to see a team like that do well, especially because in the last couple of years they've dealt with a lot of adversity and whatever. Like I thought they were probably on a rebuild year this year. Did you not think that was happening? Like what the?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting them to do anything. I mean, that rookie he's on fire. He's got 25 points in 28 games.
Yeah, dude. So I like it, man. And like I said, 18-9-1. Minnesota's right there. They're third right now. We're third in the West Division. So let's go, man. Go Minnesota. I'll cheer for that because it's been a while since they've been playoffs, and they're an exciting team. I love seeing a rookie leading scoring for a team any day of the week, any year. So that's pretty cool so far.
Yep. And speaking of teams that have been surprising, Detroit has turned some heads the last little bit. I mean, a couple nights ago, I think they beat Tampa Bay 6-4.
Yeah.
They beat the Hurricanes 4-2. They beat Dallas 3-2. And everybody's talking about Jonathan Bernier, but he also just got hurt in their last game. So
it's weird how hockey gods work, man. It's weird how it happens.
But Bernier was riding where is it here? I was just looking up his numbers. I think he was player stats. So he was 8-6 versus Greece, who's 2-11. So Jonathan Bernier has been really helping Detroit. really helping them out. Gets hurt yesterday, and he was riding a 918 save percentage with a 2.78 goals against average. Is that better than Freddie Anderson?
Hey, man, probably. Is Freddie Anderson even in the nines right now? Like, he's probably below 9.
Ooh, Freddie Anderson is 9 on the dot, not including tonight. He's already led in 3.
And save percentage?
And his his goals against is 2.85, and that's gone up as well.
Oh, boy. That is not, man, that's not good. That's not good. That's not someone that's good. I mean, unless he gets hot here and stands on his head, that's not a goalie you want to take with you into a Stanley Cup contending playoff.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. Like,
this is an opportunity for the Leafs this year.
Oh, I know. And he's 13-7. That number's not bad. But it's the other stuff that worries you, right? And then you look at, again, the stat that sticks out more than anything. He, I believe, is 0-8 in the playoffs when it's a big game that you need to win. That does not look good.
No, not at all. Not at all. I got so Pittsburgh Penguins. You said Malkin's injured, but hey, man, they got 6 guys with over 20 points, and Sid the Kid, 29 points in 29 games. He's still producing, man, at an elite level. You got to love it. I love seeing Sidney Crosby do good because I think that at the beginning of every year, there's the Crosby. I don't want to call them haters, but there's the people that are Crosby's old, Crosby's washed up now. He's not like one of the top 10 players in the league. Please, the door's over there. Walk out. We're in Canada right now. It's cold out. Strip off your shoes, strip off your clothes, walk out naked because you do not deserve to ever talk shit about Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby's work ethic and then his eliteness and his goal production and his point production. The guy's 29 points in 29 games. He's still one of the greatest players playing the game today. Not just in the last 15 years. Today, he's still one of the best players. So any of you guys that say, oh, he's washed up and everything, man, you give your heads a shake. And that's all I got to say about him. And on top of that, there's one last thing I wanted to get into.
Yep.
Vancouver. Hey, man, Vancouver's turned it up a little bit. But here's the thing. They traded for Braden Holtby. Okay? Braden Holtby was supposed to come into Vancouver because they lost Jacob Markstrom to Calgary, who's facing the Leafs right now. And is it the game tied or is Vancouver up still?
You mean Leaf game?
Yeah.
Mitch Marner and his mullet just made it 3-3.
Okay, wonderful. I love it. But this Thatcher Demko guy, he is having a great season. And he is like recently in the last maybe like 10 games, he's having he has Vezina type numbers. And Braden Holtby is warming up the bench. I think Braden Holtby has 4 wins on the season. Thatcher has every other win that Vancouver has. So that's really exciting for Vancouver. I know that right now I think Horvat's injured or something, and so is Elias Pettersson, which really hurts them. But Vancouver has the potential to still be a relevant team in this North Division and do well. But right now, as it stands, the 3 teams are Winnipeg, Edmonton, and Leafs. They're all within 2 points of each other, as I stated earlier. So they're battling it out, and it starts tonight, Archie. Like you said, it's the second half of the season starting basically within the last game or two. And yeah, so it's going to be a dogfight for the rest of the way. But don't forget, Montreal is right there at 36 points, 2 points behind the Winnipeg Jets at 38. So I love it. And hey, Calgary's knocking on the door too. If they get hot, they got a new coach in Sutter, and hopefully he turns it around for them. Just for the love of having good hockey and a good Canadian franchise. As much as for some reason, I'm starting to hate Calgary Flames. I don't know if it's because of Tkachuk and Giordano right now, but it's always good to have good teams in the North Division right now. And I hope the best for the Leafs, obviously. And Connor McDavid, man, that guy's got to slow down because he is 1 goal away from Austin Matthews' Rocket Richard trophy race. So Us or McDavid, you're already getting the points. You're going to get the Hart unless Kane probably gets it because he's older and he's just having a phenomenal season in Patrick Kane. But hey, man, Austin Matthews, I hope you get a goal tonight. And I hope that you keep it going for this Rocket Richard because he had the potential to get it last year, got screwed over by COVID, was only a goal or two away from Pasta and Ovechkin. So it's really a big deal for Austin Matthews to get some more hardware. But more importantly, Archie, that doesn't matter when you win a Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup is the number one thing that is what everyone strives for in the NHL. They could forget about the hardware. They don't care. It's those Stanley Cup rings and hoisting the Stanley Cup that matters the most, right?
100%. And I mean, Matthews has been a little bit on the quiet side with that wrist injury we know of. But apparently in the last 4 days, he's been filling the net at practices and really working on his shot. And they say his wrist looks good again. So we'll see what happens. I feel like, still early, second period, 3-3. We haven't seen Matthews get on the board yet. I think it's quite possible that he may. And we'll see what happens in this game. But I think this game's about to get interesting with them being tied at 3. I'm starting to see a lot more checks being thrown. So we'll see where this game goes now, if it'll be a more physical game. Tkachuk, of course, opened the scoring for Calgary, make it 1-0. So
can you know that Tkachuk and Muzzin would have fucking went at it tonight if Muzzin wasn't wearing the full face fishbowl? But if he didn't have the fishbowl, they were going at it. But unfortunately, we still gotta wait. That's an anticipated fight for sure. It's gonna happen.
It is, and as you say that, Gaudreau just got leveled by who was it? Hull.
Oh, nice. Very good.
Decked him. And then, of course, somebody went after him and a little fight ensued, but nothing major. So things are about to get physical. Hull just wrecked him, and Lucic is standing on the bench right now. So, I forgot about Lucic being there. He's going to be looking to light the fire. Maybe Simmons and Lucic go. But it was a beautiful hit. Like, he just decked him, like just ran him over.
I could see like Simmons going up to Lucic or Lucic going up to Simmons and just being like, "Hey, your wrist okay?" And he'll be like, "Oh yeah, bud, ready to go." Hey, did you see that video? Anyone here see that video of Jesus? He was why can't I think of the name right now? I got all excited and I forgot about the name. So there's the Gabriel from the Sharks. And who's the fighter we had that we let go to St. Louis? What's his name again? He was from LA.
Oh,
Clifford.
Kyle Clifford. Yep.
Did you see that? Did you see that pre-game chat that they had walking the blue line for like 5 minutes? It was literally just like, oh yeah, no, I'd definitely probably hit you with an uppercut and probably knock you out. Oh, you think so? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I've been working on my I've been working on my sidearm, my right arm, my right hook, and whatever. I don't think you could handle it, dude. There was some major chirping going on. I wish I was like a fly on the wall, or I guess they're not in a room, but I wish I was connected to them and they were mic'd up or something for that one, because that would have been hysterical, man. Would have been so cool.
Like they were having...
I love how Evander Kane skated by and he had a quick little, he's like, oh yeah, they're chirping, they're going at it. I love it.
Yeah, because it looked like they were having a regular conversation, and then you see Kyle Clifford's facial expression change, and it's like, whoa, these guys they're not asking each other how their weekends went. Like they're gonna go tonight, and they did, and it was a nice little fight. But yeah, that was the longest pregame conversation.
I just wanted to say, I was reading up recently. No, sorry. Everyone's probably going to, anyone that's into hockey or sports is going to probably have read this, but Barstool Sports released this little statement. I forget who it was, probably like Brian Whitney or I think it was actually Bissonnette. And he said, man, hockey is kind of making its way back this year. Hockey fights, sorry.
Yeah.
Like fighting in the NHL, there's been a lot of scraps, man, more than the last, I would say 3, 4, 5 years. So fighting's on the way back. And Bissonnette stated, he quoted, it goes to show that fighting in hockey still exists and that it has a major impact and a huge role for each team. And it does, man. It fires everyone up, especially when you don't have fans in the stands, guys. You have fights, man. It jacks your team right up, man. Everyone, this is your brother going into a battle, a 1v1. It's a showdown, and doesn't matter in the NHL if you lose a fight, guys. It doesn't even matter. It's the proudness and the pride that your team feels that you had the balls to get up and stand up for something that happened, or stand up for your team. You have the logo right there. You're representing this franchise, this hockey team, and you're going to go and you're going to win, or you're going to win some and you're going to lose some. But they, like, all players really appreciate a good fight, man. And it means a lot to them, more than people think. That's why fighting, in my opinion, needs to stay in hockey, man. It's just part of the game. It always has been, and it always should be, right?
Yep. 100%, and I'd love to see more of it, and I'm glad that it's back.
Yes,
and it's good. It's good to see it in the game. I mean, you don't ever want to see people get knocked out or injured from it, but
yeah,
fighting sparks a lot for teams. So I'm glad to see some more of that as well.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, so I think that's it for us for the week.
Perfect.
We'll be back again, guys, as always, next week, hopefully with some more information, some more details, maybe some trades happen between now and then, and hopefully the Leafs improve to a better record and we see some better numbers. So with that said, thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, we appreciate you watching. And on behalf of myself and Wade, have a great weekend. Be safe, as Wade would always say. And Wade, if you got any closing credits here.
You said it all, Archie. Just be safe and have a good weekend. TGIF, it's Friday. The warmer weather, especially in Canada, is starting to increase. So we're happy about that, even though we're a little teary-eyed about ponds starting to gather some water. And I think there's only a few with a layer of ice on them now. So they're definitely heating up, and they're turning back into lakes. But I can't wait to get swimming and jump in a lake too. So that's really good. And barbecue season has already started. I already lit up the barbecue, got the charcoal going like 5 days ago. Had a beer, listened to some music, and it felt awfully nice. Just sunshine, and we're getting into some good weather. Hockey's still here. All sports. If you're a hockey fan, you're probably a sports fan. Sports are just going on. There's spring training for baseball right now. We're Toronto guys. We love the Blue Jays too, the Raptors, and we know what's going on there. COVID stuff, whatever, that's okay. But we are leaving the show. We're leaving off for this week anyway, and I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you, Archie. Another good show. Thank you for hosting. But we do have to get to the rest of a Leaf game, and we got to see how the boys do as hockey fans and Leaf fanatics we are. But I hope everyone stays safe and have a great weekend, and we will see you next week at 7:30.
And sorry, before we let you go, you're going to love to see this. Kachuk just took a cheap shot at Hall, and then Hall dropped the gloves and wasn't going to go, and then Kachuk just grabbed him and started throwing hooks, cheap shots. So it'll be interesting what happens now. So this game's about to get real good.
Sounds good. Turn on the Leaf and the Calgary game. You won't be disappointed. It's heating up. Let's go.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
Cheers.